Decided to go with a slightly different angle today. Couldn't get an internet. So I had a totally awesome idea for a vlog today. I remember waking up overnight with it. I remember remembering in the morning about it too. It wasn't just from a dream or anything like that. And I remember next to nothing about it now. I remember it had something to do with I was going to need to write a summation symbol. I know that does not help anything whatsoever. Dang it. So it's really late at night at this point. I spent the time talking with friends. I mean, we stopped board gaming at, 21:15 or so, and it's nearly midnight at this point, so I've been talking ever since. I miss talking with people about IT stuff. I mean, it's not exactly a secret. I'm a huge fan of technology, computing in general, and no longer being a sysadmin makes it a little weird, because it's now my hobby instead of my profession. I don't know if you can hear Isun crying or not. I don't know why he's crying, but he is. Anyway, like I was saying, it's no longer my profession, it's my hobby, which makes it weird because it's not a normal hobby. But I miss being involved with technology. Being a sysadmin on its surface was a great position for somebody like me. I like working with technology, I like working with new shiny things, I like working with old crusty things. We'll go with crusty. I like dealing with technology. I'm also really good with dealing with people. I like talking with people, I like interacting with people, I like working with people, I like troubleshooting, I like problem solving. On its surface, IT is great for somebody like me. The problem is that the IT industry is not great for somebody like me. The IT industry in general is very high stress because usually it's considered a cost center. What I mean by cost center is that it is a place that a large corporation looks at and goes, we want to minimize costs. It's not viewed in the purpose of the IT department helps facilitate everything else in a technology corporation to work. Or even not even a technology corporation. Like, what would be a good example of a large corporation that doesn't deal on its surface with technology? Warehousing. So IT work is practically essential for proper warehousing stuff in the modern day, because you don't normally just have people walking around going, where's the paper towels? As they walk around or anything like that. You use a computer to tell you where things are. You have lookup things where you can look up the current quantity of everything that's going on, because hopefully you are having a constant check as to what's in each pallet and so on. Anyway, the point is that unfortunately, corporations view IT work as we need to minimize this as much as possible, not as in, if we invest in this, this will help us grow as a company and as a business and so on. Long story short, that means that they try to minimize the number of IT people in any given facility. So IT people usually have far more work. In addition, thanks to a certain president of the United States, and not a recent one at this point, IT work, such as being a sysadmin, is considered salary exempt work, which is to say that in the US, you can be put on a salary and they can expect you to work however many number of hours a week they want you to work. And you're paid for 40, no matter what, no overtime, no nothing. You're exempt from the regulations that invoke an 8-hour workday, which is terrible. But unfortunately, unless a federal law were to change, there's nothing I can do about that. Starting with the Great Resignation, that became less of a problem. You started seeing organizations, one, be desperate for IT people because all of a sudden they're, hey, look, we crammed 2 IT people to do the work of 30, doesn't work very well when they can just find better positions elsewhere. And 2, there's a higher demand for IT work in general because you now have a lot of people working from home for the first time. And that involves more IT work because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what devices are they using to connect, what devices are they using to connect on each side, not just, hey, look, I have a work laptop. What am I also connecting to? If they weren't set up for any type of remote work, there's nothing for them to connect to. All sorts of interesting situations like that. And I really liked the work, but the stress was unreal. And not to mention, I was, to borrow a trade terminology, I would be considered a master. Which is to say, I had 20 plus years of experience. I was in the position to give talks at trade shows. Sorry for the shake. Zone decided to run by. That's the good kitten, although he's not being a very good kitten right now, but he's good at being a kitten. We'll put it that way. Anyway, I was getting ready to make talks at conventions and trade shows and so on with my knowledge. I was reasonably considered a master in my field. Certainly an expert. Trade skill-wise, I'm well beyond journeyman. I would probably be considered a master. But that also means that I commanded a very high salary. And that's not something anybody wanted to hire in the pandemic. Because by commanding a high salary, smaller organizations couldn't justify my pay. And that was actually the situation I kept running into, because the larger corporations wanted this strict set of requirements, like, for instance, living within a distance away from their primary data center facility, or required to work 50-plus hour weeks, or required to wear a suit and tie. Yeah, there's still some corporations that do that for some dumb reason. Or you're required to do all of these very strange things that you should absolutely specialize instead of generalize on, stuff like that. Whereas a small corporation would actually have the correct policies in place, because chances are they're not going to care about shirt and tie. They're not going to care where exactly you are, because they're just desperate to get anybody at all. But they couldn't afford somebody like me, even if they can use that. Like the company I work for, their IT department is so tiny that they probably couldn't justify somebody like me in IT. They could justify me as a developer. So, anyway, I'm just rambling because it's late at night and I'm really tired. You at least saw a kitten, so that counts. But I want to do more with my technology experience in home lab and do more technology videos. Problem is, I don't know if anybody watches them. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed now. Good night, Internet.